Hey, what is up guys? It's your boy Speed here, and today we're going to be covering 7.34b, the new patch. Valve's going crazy. I mean, this is particularly crazy, at least for me, because of the fact that I actually have TI quals in like 4 days, and they're putting out another patch. There was a patch like, what, 5 days ago, 6 days ago, and now there's another patch, which, yeah, okay, this is definitely crazy. Glimmer Cape. Glimmer cooldown increased from 12 to 14, so, you know, I would say still buy the item. Obviously, this is a nerf, but it's fine, right? I would definitely still buy Glimmer if you're buying Glimmer. Spirit Vessel was changed, so this was the item being abused by Universal Heroes. Seems like they've nerfed it to make it not as good on Universal Heroes. Let's see, though. So recipe change, total cost decreased. Oh, wow. So it's cheaper. All right, well, it's cheaper by 200 gold, which is kind of a lot. Earn, crown recipe was the old one. Now it's earn, crown, fluffy hat recipe. Okay, I don't think this is too bad. I think heroes that bought it can still buy it. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like gives about the same amount of health. It's just much less damage for Universal Heroes. So I actually think this is pretty well done and a very cool idea from Valve, right? Saying, okay, this is a little bit too good on maybe Prime on Brewmaster and maybe too good on Invoker and maybe like Earth Spirit, but now it's like a more well-rounded item that's less good on those heroes. So I like that. I think that's really cool. Definitely still a good item and just less viable on who is super broken on. Abaddon, Miss Coil, less damage to yourself, good. More damage and heal by honestly a pretty good amount. 10 more at 1, 25 more at max, and the cast range increased by 25. So not bad. I would say nothing that's going to make the hero meta, but certainly good, right? Certainly a good change to the hero. Alchemist, 1 base armor. That's pretty good for a hero with not the best base armor. And 10 extra movement speed at level 1 odd chemical range. Okay, 10 more at 1, 5 more at 2, and then 0 more at 3. Nothing insane, but, you know, there were some teams already picking Alch. I honestly think Alch is still pretty good. I believe this hero's decent, so if you're an Alch picker, feel free. I mean, this is a nice little change. Arc Warden, base armor, and this hero's win rate got demolished. Like, demolished. I have no idea. It seemed, I think it dropped from like 50 to like 44 or something like that. I can't imagine 1 base armor and some magnetic field cooldown is going to fix that. But also, the hero got changed pretty significantly, so maybe people are just kind of getting used to the hero and so the win rate dropped. But I don't know, nothing crazy. Bounty Hunter, 20 shuriken damage at all levels. It's not bad. It helps. It's good. Okay. Brewmaster lost crit on his fire stance, so the fire stance critical damage just increased. I mean, is this enough really to nerf the hero? The hero is very good. From 145, 160, 175, 190 to 120, 140, 160, 180, so only 10% less at max. It is 25% worse at level 1. There's actually some people who max this ability. Monkey's Forever, a notable spammer of the hero, maxes this ability, so this doesn't really, I mean, it's definitely a nerf, right? 10% less, but is that bad? I mean, they nerfed Vessel too, right? So maybe that's kind of enough to put this hero down a bit. It's fair. I still think the hero is quite good though. Bristleback got 0.2 strength gain and 0.15 mana regen. Okay, it's good. I think this hero is honestly good. I really believe Bristleback's like not a bad hero, to be honest. Crystal Maiden Psyched Crystal Clone, which I have yet to see. I honestly don't even know what this ability does. Now the AoE is 100 bigger. Okay, I mean that's a lot. I don't know if it's good though. Dazzle, his Q got his E got majorly buffed from 60 to 75. That's a huge buff on Shadow Wave. The reason why that's a huge buff is, right, that's 15 damage per target that you're hitting. So if you hit 4 targets, right, on whatever, if you're pushing into creep wave or if you're nuking someone, that's an extra 60 damage potentially, right? And you know it's 15 more healed too. That's really good. That's a pretty sizable buff. It's only really better at level 1 though. It's kind of about the same at the other levels, sort of. But okay, Rolling Boulder, delay increased from 0.5 to 0.6. That'll be slightly annoying, but I don't think that's too bad. Probably still a good hero. Enchantress got 0.3 strength gain, which is decent for a hero that definitely needs some HP, but you know, 0.3 strength gain, that's not like insane. At level 9, you get 3 extra strength, which is like 66 health. That's okay. Okay, Enigma, a hero that kind of got crushed. Demonic Conversion, renamed to Demonic Summoning. Is now a point targeted ability with a 400 cast range. Okay. And the mana cost was severely decreased. Alright, so they basically said, yeah, maybe we went too hard on this hero. It costs your HP to use now, but you can cast it pretty far, which means you can like summon the Eidolons next to people and then like block them with it, or I guess hit them with it, which is kind of okay. I mean, it's alright, right? It's okay. It's somewhat useful, but the big thing is the mana cost, right? It's like way less mana. I don't know. I guess Enigma's fine as a hero. Like, it just can't deny anymore, and that was a big selling point of the hero, right? It was just a huge selling point of the hero. That's just not a thing anymore, but maybe it's still okay. I mean, lanes that Enigma could own, he probably still can, right? You just buy a little bit of extra HP regen instead of mana regen now, because you have less of a mana need, but okay. Base armor decreased by 1 on Invoker. Cooldown reduction no longer works on items. Damn, okay, so hurting Invoker pretty hard, because you can spam Vessel, Midas, Blink, whatever you bought, you just got more, because if you were on Wex, it just reduced the cooldown of all these items, which was really stupid. At max level, you just got 21% cooldown reduction on Midas. You know, things like that. It was just nuts. Okay, Ghost Walk. So it's the same HP regen at level 1, but it only goes up to 45 now instead of 80, which is obviously an insane nerf. And the mana regen from 40 to 20. So, oh, and the mana regen at level 1 from 5 to 2.5. So honestly, this is a huge nerf. This hero got hit hard. I almost think this is going to bring him back to Earth, because they nerfed Vessel. Kind of. I would say it's kind of. It's only a kind of a nerf to Vessel, because it is cheaper by 200 gold, and they nerfed the 10 talent and the 15 CDR talents. I mean, they hurt this hero. They hit him hard. He was kind of broken, so maybe he's still good. I'll say he's okay. I think this is going to be like a 50% win rate hero, just all right. Jakiro, Aghanim Scepter, Ice Wall movement speed decreased from 70 to 60. That's still really high. Nerfed the 10 talent and the 20 talent, only slightly though, still a good hero. Dragon Sleeve, burn duration from 2 to 3. Wow, that's a big buff, because that's just an extra 40 damage on max Dragon Sleeve. Lena's nukes honestly do a lot of damage. I will say that these talent changes that they gave to her are probably bad, because they buffed it. I mean, it's not bad for the hero, but like, you want to go magic damage. I'm pretty sure the Lena that's good right now is Magic Lena. And they nerfed the talents you don't take as Magic Lena. Unless sometimes you don't want Light Strike array damage, but unlikely, right? So, I mean, this is good, man. I'm telling you, like, you take this Dragon Slave cooldown at 10, you get this nuke, this burn duration. It does a lot of damage, man. Dragon Slave at max level does 420 damage, down to a 4.5 second cooldown when you get the 10 talent. This ability cooks, literally. Lone Druid got 2 base strength. That's pretty good, definitely notable. Helps the hero in the lane. Okay, Aghanim Shard, Orbit Radius. What the hell is Moonglaive Shard? Aghanim Shard, Orbit Radius. Oh yeah, it makes the Moonglaves go around you. Okay, so they go around you farther, and they're easier to hit people with. Okay, and they buffed Eclipse cooldown down to 110. That's pretty good. Buffing Eclipse cooldown helps the hero be a little bit more active. That's pretty nice. Magnus, Aghanim Shard damage multiplier on return from 50 to 75. Okay, I mean, not a huge fan of that, but it's all right. And then they buffed Empower, giving it 4% at all levels, and the cleave damage, wow, 6% extra at level 1. It's the same at max, but 6% at level 1, so making this ability a much better value point. I don't know, is this hero really good though? I'm not sure. Wow, huge Marcy buff, going from 3 strikes Pure Fury to 4 at level 1, and then 3, 4, 5 to 4, 5, 6, so an extra strike per level. I mean, to be fair, this does mean that it's slightly, and I mean slightly, very slightly slower to get the pulse out, or like the silence if you're buying Ags, but it is going to be more damage at the end of the day, probably, right? It's probably more damage? Yeah, it's probably much more damage. All right, I mean, that's a good size buff to Marcy. I think the hero got nerfed pretty hard though, right? So I don't know how good Marcy is right now. I really have seen nothing on it. This is a good size buff, but I don't even know where the hero is at the moment, to be blunt. They buffed Mars ulti by a little bit at all levels, 5, 10, 15, from 1, 2 to 3. They buffed Meepo's Earthbind, making it go faster, which is actually quite a sizable buff. It's 100 extra projectile speed. It's decent. Not going to make the hero that much better, though. Mirana, the damage talent, at level 20 is better. Under 25 talent's a little bit better. Pretty not notable. Wow, Monkey King receiving a huge buff. Wow, huge buffs. 2-second cooldown less on Primal Spring, which is his farming ability, right? So instead of 14 at max, it's 12 at max, which is pretty damn good. And then no longer limits movement speed to 200. On Mischief, which is the turning into like a banana thingy, or a courier, now grants 10% bonus movement speed. I mean, that's incredibly useful, right? Because instead of turning into a banana and being slow as hell, you can just turn into a banana and apparently be really fast, if not extremely fast, because you get 10% bonus movement speed. And the reason why this is key is you can use it to close the gap. If you're a mid lane monkey, you can roam easier with this, right? You can go from camp to camp with this. I mean, it's a low cooldown ability, right? This is it's a 15-second cooldown, very spammable. So this is a huge buff to Monkey King. I don't think it's going to make the hero broken by any means, but it's definitely way better. Morphling got 0.2 strength gain, which is pretty good for a hero that relies on Agi and strength. Hunter in the Night, they nerfed the Shard from 0 mana to 50 mana and a 20-second cooldown to 30. Okay. They buffed Omni Knight's Repel, 45 seconds at max to 36. Still think the hero's not great, but that is a big buff, right? 9-second cooldown is a ton. Pangolier got a buff, 0.2 strength gain, and mana cost decrease, so he can use more shield crashes and a little bit more strength gain, nothing insane. PA lost 2 base agility. Wow, that's rough. I mean, that's very rough. That's 2 damage, a little bit of armor, some attack speed. That doesn't feel good at all. And lifesteal now has a 40% penalty on creeps. That also is very much not good. I personally feel like this is kind of unnecessary. I don't really, I will admit, I think this B patch, I don't want to have too many criticisms because like, I do like that they're putting out patches, but some of these changes are just like, the hero is good all of a sudden. I mean, maybe they think PA is too good, right? Maybe they think he's too good. I'm sure low mower players probably think so too, because the hero's like particularly good in like average pubs, but I don't know. I feel like it's cool to see PA slightly back in the meta, at least for me, but maybe it's just too good in average pubs, and so they're trying to tune it down. I get that, but I don't know, some of these changes, like, oh, the hero's back, it's finally back, and then now it's like kind of not back, like Invoker. I just, no, you know what, these Invoker changes are good. It's probably a viable hero, but not broken. Nah, maybe they're doing a better job than I think. Maybe I'm being a bit too harsh. I think I'm thinking of one change, which I read before making the video, which I'll cover at the end, which is the Witch Doctor changes. I feel like they were a bit too harsh, to be honest. I know the hero's like really good, but I feel like the hero kind of got killed, and that's a bit sad to me. Ricky lost 10 base attack speed. The linger duration on Smokescreen is removed, so it's way easier to get out of Smokescreen. The hero's attack speed is obviously way worse. They nerfed his 15 talent, his 20 talent, and his 25 talent. Damn! That's kind of what I mean. I mean, damn! Ricky's just destroyed. The assassin's getting annihilated. Rubik, the impact radius on telekinesis, which is the stun AoE when you drop someone, is bad at level 1, but better at max, which is probably a buff overall. Telekinesis lift duration replaced with telekinesis lift stun duration. Oh, so that's a buff. That's actually pretty good at level 15. I mean, but it is good. Both are good. Well, that is kind of good. I don't know which one you take now. The stolen spells cooldown just feels like a little bit too good, maybe. I don't know. Hard to say. Sand King, a hero that is very popular. Base damage decreased by 2. Damage decreased from 100, 150, 200, 280, to 80, 130, 200, 260. Okay, yeah. His stun does 20 damage less at level 1. Sandstorm movement speed decreased. Oh, damn. Okay, from 100 to 25, 50, 75, 100. Now, at the end of the day, this is something he just didn't have in the past, and he still has, but it still is a little rough, and they nerfed the Shard. Shard pulse interval increased from 2.5 to 3.5, which is way worse. And now Shard Pulse now only slows for 50% of the duration of the regular Epicenter slow, so that's way worse too. Ooh, damn, they got rid of his broken level 15 talent. They got rid of Sandstorm Radius with Sandstorm Movement Speed, which is certainly way worse because the Sandstorm Radius buffed the Axe too, so, man, this hurt. I mean, this is a lot of nerfs to Sand King. Kind of, once again, a hero that I just feel like wasn't good, and it's kind of cool to see him back. I feel like it's okay to have heroes that are a little bit broken. Maybe people complain about it, and I don't know. I don't really like read Reddit or stuff. In general, I just feel like Sand King's not that broken. I know the win rate shows that he is kind of OP. I just feel like people don't understand the hero, but to be fair, Dota kind of has to cater, and the developers have to cater primarily to the average player. So that's very reasonable, right? These changes are reasonable, you know, considering that. Okay, Slaughter, another hero that was pretty good in pubs, lost a little bit of damage on Bash of the Deep. Still good, right? 18, 16, 24, 32, something he just didn't have in the past. That's pretty solid, right? Still has that. And also the level 10 Guardian Sprint talent was nerfed, which hurts, because that was definitely the better talent, right? So it's a little bit worse. Slaughter, still good though. If you liked playing it, I would still play it. All right. Snapfire, her 10 talent got buffed, but you usually take the other one. That is kind of a lot of health on Fire Snap Cookie, though. Not gonna cap. Techie's buff on the stun duration, it's 0.15 second more at max. Leech Seed does 5 more damage at all level. Okay, that's decent. Undying, heroes inside the tombstone with Aghanim Shard are now stunned for 3 seconds if it gets destroyed. What? What the? So they have to get out? Wait, can you get out though? You have to. The thing is, you can't get out right away. There's like a period of time where you can't get out. Also, they nerfed the bonus movement speed on Flesh Golem, which sucks a bit. Stun for 3 seconds? Oh god, that is a huge Undying nerf. I mean, at the end of the day, you can still save your teammates, but if the enemy team can kill the tombstone, you're not really saving them. You're only like half saving them. Venge, a hero I think is pretty decent. Got a huge buff. got a huge buff. Her stun is 0.3 seconds better at every level. I mean, that's a lot for a stun that you're spamming. Considering this ability goes from a 9-second cooldown down to like, I think it's like 5.5. She has like a magic missile cooldown at one of her levels, and it's like insanely crazy when she gets it. 2 seconds. Okay, so it goes from 9 to 2. I think they nerfed that talent. I'm pretty sure it was better at some point. Okay, Warlock, a hero that I thought was quite good, is now definitely a little bit worse. Bonus base attack speed down by 10. That hurts his laning a bit. Movement speed decreased. Not by a lot, that's still fine. I would say Warlock's still good, but the base attack speed nerfs always hurt a lot. It just hurts your laning stage a ton. Okay, they buffed Splinter Blast, making it less mana and the cooldown less. That's not bad for Winter Wyvern. And they buffed his 15 talent and 20 talent by a little bit. This is the one that's crazy to me. I feel like it's just a little bit too much, to be perfectly honest. They give him 3 less damage. A hero that's base damage was kind of not that great. Now it's 3 less. His intelligence gain is worse. The attack range on Death Ward is worse. It was already not insanely good, but it's worse. And now his ulti went from a 60-second cooldown to 180-60. And they nerfed the 20 talent and the 25 talent, which isn't the end of the world, because I actually think the other 20 talent's kind of better, and the other 25 talent's also pretty good. But this obviously makes like the OP Death Ward scaling build worse, which a lot of people liked and were doing. However, I think Witch Doctor is still okay, is what I'll say, but obviously he's just much worse. I would say this is gonna drop him probably about 6% win rate, if I had to guess. That's my guess, 6-7% win rate. I mean win rate. It's just, his stun is still way better, right? Death Ward is still pure, but Death Ward at level 1 isn't really better than old Death Ward at level 1. It was kind of the later levels, I feel, because Death Ward at level 1 did 90, but it was physical, but people's armor is less in the early game. See, I don't think you really cared that much. It was the later levels, and the later levels are still good, but like now early game Witch Doctor is just like way more passive, you know what I mean? It's just way more passive. You just have way less Death Ward. It's like it's almost double, right? It's pretty rough, and it's worse by a good margin. 100 attack range is a lot. That's gonna, like, usually you would sometimes barely kill people with the Death Ward, especially if, like, with Maledict ticking, you're gonna get probably 3 less hits, 2-3 less hits sometimes. I mean, that's gonna cost you kills for sure. So this is gonna drop the hero's win rate by a lot. I just feel like it's a bit much. I know the hero is like the second highest win rate in Dota or something, but I just still feel like it's a bit much. That's my personal take. I think it was cool to see the hero in the meta, and it was fun. Maybe I'm biased because I love the hero, but Wraith King lost some strength gain, and his Aghanim Scepter cooldown reduction went from 40 to 30 on his ult. But okay, that's gonna be all for today's video. Overall, definitely like the patch. I think it's cool, and I really appreciate that Valve is being consistent. I certainly think that maybe the Witch Doctor change is a bit much. Maybe some of the other, what was the other one I thought was a bit much? Maybe Invoker slightly over nerfed, but I know it's crazy hearing that, but that is my opinion. I think it's slightly over nerfed, but yeah, I like a lot of the buffs, right? The Abaddon, Alk, Arcord, and Bounty Hunter buffs, a lot of cool ones. Bristle one's cool, Dazzle one's cool. So yeah, overall, cool patch, very nice. I'll see you guys in the next one, and I'm out. Peace.